Welcome to the Lake Washington Schools Foundation's Be the Bridge Spring Benefit. I'm Morgan Palmer, Chief Meteorologist at Cairo 7 News and a proud resident of the East Side. And I'm here because I want to support the Lake Washington Schools Foundation's mission to enhance academic access and nurture the well-being of the students in the Lake Washington School District. And I want you to do the same. Today we'll tell you what's new, what's next, and what matters in the Lake Washington School District. We'll also dig deeper into the diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts being funded by the foundation and talk to the people who are making it happen. When you feel moved, and I know you will, please click the donate button below this screen to make your contribution today. Your donation supports the vital work that benefits our entire community. First, let's hear from Lake Washington Schools Foundation's Executive Director, Katie Phillips. Katie?
Thank you, Morgan. It's a pleasure to have you with us as our MC for the 2022 Spring Benefit. And thank you all for joining us virtually today to learn more about the vital work that the foundation does in our community. There is no question that this has been another challenging year for us, both as individuals and as a community. But these challenges have also given us opportunities to come together in new and meaningful ways, to be creative and innovative in addressing emerging needs, and to form stronger bonds with each other. If we have learned nothing else from this pandemic, it is how intertwined our lives are and how much we rely on each other. All of us at Lake Washington Schools Foundation have been busy this year, maintaining, adapting, and growing our programs to best serve the needs of students and families in our community. We have been working closely with the district, PTSAs, the cities, and other community partners to ensure that the work we do is meaningful and impactful, with the goal of improving as many lives as possible, both now and in the future. This work is only possible with the support from our community. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Google, and for generous support from Amazon, Cornerstone General Contractors, Leidig, Microsoft, Overlake Medical Center and Clinics, GLY, McKinstry, PRK Live and Good, Sodexo, and Waste Management. And many thanks for the compassionate contributions to this event from all of our corporate sponsors. I am thrilled to share that because of the generosity of our matching donors, all donations of $200 or more will be doubled up to $28,500. We are deeply grateful to these committed donors who are making a difference in the lives of children. Today, in addition to seeing our programs in action, you'll learn more about new initiatives that the foundation is supporting. Initiatives that demonstrate our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion for all students. First up, I would like to introduce Kai Vanderlip, a student at Tesla STEM High School. We are so proud to be supporting Kai's work in our elementary schools.
Hi, I'm Kai Vanderlip, and the project that I founded is the Japanese Incarceration Literature for Libraries.
The Lake Washington Schools Foundation provided funding for Kai's Japanese Incarceration Literature for Libraries project. This year, Kai delivered picture books about the Japanese American incarceration to elementary schools in the Lake Washington School District, ultimately impacting more than 14,000 students.
The goal was to spread awareness about the Japanese incarceration of 1942, which actually affected my family personally, so I had some family ties in this. My great-grandfathers brother was incarcerated, his brother-in-law was incarcerated, and more family members as well. Well, I know that it's not something that's like taught that much, so I was really hoping to get kind of that extra layer and to like to teach people, so that like the amount of people who don't know that this was a thing decreases. And the mission statement for this project is actually to teach kids about this at like a young age so they can grow up to be more equitable citizens and spot and speak out against intolerance in all forms. So I'd been researching the incarceration ever since 5th grade. I wanted to do some form of project, and on the news I kept seeing like things with like Asian hate crimes, and that really kind of spurred me to go, okay, this is the one I want to do. I want to focus on somehow spreading awareness about what happened before so it never happens again. That's actually like a common saying about the incarceration, is like nidoto nai yoni, which roughly translates to let it not happen again. That was kind of the inciting incident, or the spark, that got me going on this project.
With the assistance of librarians Leanne Clausen of Ben Franklin Elementary and Christy Reagan of Peter Kirk Elementary, Kai selected books about the incarceration experience. Amy Waldrop, Lake Washington School District lead librarian, helped verify age appropriateness of the selections before they were distributed to schools for the 2022 Day of Remembrance.
And then after getting all the books, I teamed up with my high school's equity team. One of our big projects there was that we packaged all the books into 33 different bags and wrote down where they were going, who they were going to, and then we started shipping them out in time for the 80th anniversary of when Executive Order 9066 was signed, which called for the forced removal of the Japanese from the West Coast. So we got them rolled out late January so that they would actually arrive in schools before the Day of Remembrance, which was in February. For next steps, I provided supplementary lesson plans with the books. I sent in an email to all the principals and librarians in the Lake Washington School District, and I actually have gotten a lot of feedback because a lot of librarians were kind of inspired by that and actually ran some lessons. So I had a lot of feedback where like some of the worksheets I had got filled in and I got to see those. Librarians sent me comments from parents and from students, and I also got comments about like a student who talked about how his like grandparents or great-grandparents were incarcerated. And he said, like, I'm glad somebody's doing this, I'm glad somebody's talking about it. I definitely don't think that this project would have gotten done without help from the Lake Washington Schools Foundation. I mean, it was such a generous grant, and I got the vast majority of the books with it. It's what got 5 out of the 6 books for 33 schools, so this wouldn't have been a project without it. Seriously, thank you so much. It's been great working with you guys. It's been truly a wonderful experience.
That is one determined and inspirational young man. Thank you, Kai. And to all the librarians, school administrators, and family members who work together to ensure that the next generation knows about the injustices of the past so that we may never repeat them. Kai's work was funded by the Lake Washington Schools Foundation through the contributions of donors just like you. If you feel inspired by Kai, please click that donate button right now. Next, we'll turn to the Battle of the Books, the district-wide program that allows middle school students to work together as a team and challenge other schools to correctly answer questions about a dozen selected books. The goal is to encourage students at all reading levels to engage in teamwork while reading some of the best books in children's literature. The Lake Washington Schools Foundation bought 5 copies of each book for the library of every middle school in the district. Now let's talk to some of the kids and librarians involved and see how the battle went down.
My name is Amber Peterson, and I'm the librarian at International Community School. And this is my 4th year with Battle of the Books and 4th year in the school district.
Battle of the Books is a district-wide reading competition that promotes reading comprehension, academic excellence, and cooperative learning, and teamwork among students. Every year, middle school librarians choose 12 books for students to read. For the past 3 years, the Lake Washington Schools Foundation has given every middle school library in the district funding to purchase 5 copies of every book, giving each of the 7,000 students in grades 6 through 8 the opportunity to participate.
So with our 6th graders, when they come in, it's, even our little school, it's scary. They're used to being with a class all day, and now suddenly they've got lots of classes, and they're looking for their place and where they fit in. And Battle of the Books is kind of a smooth way for them to find a place, find an activity, join a club that's pretty low commitment, and then they get to form teams, so they get to pick who's going to be on their team with them.
We just kind of asked each other, like, oh, do you want to be a part of my Battle of the Books team? In the beginning, we had each person assigned to 2 to 3 books and just have everyone focus on their assigned book. But then, as time went on, everyone just read all the books.
It's a really nice way for the 6th graders to find a place at school when it's all new and scary. And then for our older kids, they kind of know what to expect, and they some of them are really invested in the whole process, and even as we were teaching the kids how to write questions for practice and things like that, they could offer their experience. So it's a nice multi-grade thing as well.
I think the reading was really interesting because the books were nice, and also the battles were kind of fun because you're with your team and you're like hoping to get the right answer.
Because the competition is a year long, right? This is the culmination in March. So that means that they're having to start reading the books in September, sometimes over the summer, and remembering details from those books. And so it's a memory test for them, but also the joy and excitement they get about the books. And they're the people that are selling other kids on the books later too. They're like, oh, well, I read this for Battle of the Books and I know everything about it, but you should definitely read it because it's really good.
In addition to the friendships and finding a place, it really promotes a love of literature. And we deliberately choose from multiple genres. But you know, it gets us a chance to read genres we wouldn't normally read.
I normally don't spend that much time reading, so it got me to read a bit more. Because I do love reading, but I kind of forget.
I think it has a huge impact. In the last few years that I've been the librarian here at Kirkland, I have seen just an ebb of flow of students participating. Depending on the books, they get more excited about the books depending on how much we have the ability to go out and talk to schools. But the books that we have chosen are the favorites in the library. They're the books that are constantly going in and out on a regular basis. So having multiples of them is integral because they're the most popular books in the school.
I mean, kids are asking about it during 6th grade walkthrough, like, where do I get the books? And I'll let them check them out if they show up in the library so they can get started right away and have some experience with the books.
Yeah. I would recommend Battle of the Books because it's fun and you get to work with either your friends or people you really just met that year, get to know each other more.
I'm a very small school. I have a very, very small budget. So for us to be able to afford multiple copies of any book is pretty rare. So and there's several of us at smaller schools, it means that we can compete with the big guys because we have the funding to purchase multiple copies of the books, which are always checked out. I mean, all year long, they're still not on the shelf. So we get 5 copies of each book, and then we get the ebooks, which is also, that was new last year. I'm using some of our grant money to have ebook versions too.
Lake Washington Schools Foundation has made a huge impact across our district, enabling us to have equity. Budgets are based on our buildings and our principals' decisions, and so everyone's funding is completely different. So being able to purchase 5 books of each of the titles, it makes it so that we all are starting out on the same level. So having that access, and it's $800 that we don't have to spend out of our budget on books that are going to be consistently checked out over and over and over and over again, I don't know that I can express how much it means to us as librarians and to our students, because without it, sometimes some of the schools wouldn't be able to participate because they don't have the funds to be able to support it. So it creates an equitable situation for all of our schools.
For us, it means we can participate. I really don't think we could compete on the same level if we didn't have the support and funding of Lake Washington Schools Foundation.
Nothing brings people together quite like a good book. Congratulations to this year's winners and all of the battle's participants. And thank you to the hard-working school librarians who guided them through it. The Lake Washington Schools Foundation has funded the purchase of these books for 3 years running. Your contributions make work like this possible. To keep the foundation's work going, please click Donate Now and make your contribution today. Next, we'll hear from Dr. John Holman, superintendent of the Lake Washington School District. Dr. Holman began his career as a third-grade teacher at Benjamin Rush Elementary in Redmond, and he's been superintendent since 2020 with 54 schools and more than 30,000 students enrolled. The Lake Washington School District is the second largest in the state. And it has not been an easy 2 years. But Dr. Holman's steady and compassionate leadership has kept our schools moving forward in challenging times.
Hello, I'm John Holman, Superintendent of the Lake Washington School District. I want to take a few moments to thank you for coming together in support of all our students by being a part of the Lake Washington Schools Foundation Be the Bridge Spring Benefit. The work of our foundation truly supports our 31,000 students, our 4,000 staff members, and our 57 school communities. Over the course of the pandemic, Lake Washington has worked together with the foundation to be responsive to the needs of our students. Strong partnerships between the district and the organizations sponsored by the foundation help us all work together for the benefit of our students. Our Director of Student Services, Johnny Fu, works together with Balance in Mind, an organization that works with community partners to raise awareness about emotional and mental health challenges facing our youth. They empower parents and work to build communities where our youth can grow up healthy, resilient, and equipped for life. This group works to educate and develop skills for parents to support their children's social and mental health. We know we are in a critical time for our students in discussing mental health. Well-being is called out in our strategic plan. We believe that all students must be safe and feel a sense of belonging if they are to succeed. It is our responsibility to create safe and inclusive learning communities in every school where every student and family is valued and welcomed. Victoria Getzy Nelson, our Links Mentoring Program Coordinator, works with the foundation as she works to match students who need an adult mentor with a community member to serve as their lunch buddy one day each week. This program serves as a critical connection point for more than 100 of our elementary students. Our communication department works with Noticias de BSD y LWSD as this group strives to make school district information for both Lake Washington and Bellevue school districts more accessible to Spanish-speaking families. These videos have served as a critical connection between the schools and our Spanish-speaking community members. Counselors and school staff members work to support the distribution of pantry packs to students in need of extra meals each weekend. These school staff members serve as that critical point of contact, making sure students in need are connected with the meals each weekend, helping to ensure that no kids go hungry on weekends. Our Equity and Family Engagement Department works with Nourishing Networks to provide Safeway vouchers to families. The foundation has helped to fund this program, which started this winter. More vouchers will be provided this spring and into the summer through this program. This is another way the foundation works to ensure all Lake Washington School District students have what they need to be successful. The middle school Battle of the Books competition, which just took place during the last week in March, is sponsored by Lake Washington Schools Foundation. School librarians typically partner with the foundation to put on this middle school event. Nearly 7,000 students in grades 6 through 8 participate in this program each year. This district-wide reading competition promotes reading comprehension, academic excellence, and cooperative learning and teamwork among students. I'm excited to hear more about the successes of all these programs and more during this spring benefit event. Again, thank you for being a part of the Lake Washington Schools Foundation Be the Bridge Spring Benefit. Thank you for supporting the students and staff in Lake Washington School District to achieve our vision of every student being future ready, prepared for college, prepared for the global workplace, and prepared for personal success. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Holman. The foundation is grateful for your partnership. Equity is central to the district's mission, and it does a great job of providing culturally responsive family engagement. This includes access to interpretation and translated information. Last year, the foundation was approached by the Equity in Communication Collaborative Action Network. They wanted to make the translated information released by the school district even more accessible to Spanish-speaking families. With funding from the foundation, they have been creating weekly video newsletters that are making a real difference in the lives of local families. Liliana Medina is here to explain.
I'm Liliana Medina, and I'm the founder and director of Sistema Escolar USA, and I am part of the Collaborative Action Network for Equity in Communications for Hispanic families of Lake Washington School District and Bellevue School District.
The Lake Washington Schools Foundation is proud to collaborate with community partners to provide weekly video newsletters for Spanish-speaking families.
2 years ago, when the pandemic started, Eastside Pathways called different organizations to find out how we could help our communities. We thought, who's been most impacted through this living and remote learning? And we came to the realization that the Latino community was severely impacted. So we made a focus group and we asked Latino families how we could help them. What was difficult, what were their challenges, what they would like, how they would like to receive information. And they said, well, first of all, we would like to have information through a different channel. Second, we would like information in a way that we could understand and with some context, so we really can understand what we have to do and how we can support our children during this time. Because of those answers, we create a video newsletter where we start bringing information not just in Spanish, not just translated, we transcreate information so we could help families understand the processes, understanding everything that was happening when the information was changing so quickly. For the school year 21-2022, we began bringing this video newsletter weekly, and families have been absolutely thankful for having the opportunity of having this information in Spanish with context and on a weekly basis so they can keep up what's going on. One other thing that we add on top of the information was education for our Hispanic community. And when we say education is, we start talking about the American school system, how it works, and what opportunities were available for the children. So now parents are having not just information from the district, but also are informed every week about the American school system, how to navigate the system, and also are aware of opportunities available for their children. Lake Washington School Foundation has been crucial through all this quest. Their support from the very beginning made a huge difference for the Latino community, and we hope to keep this work for a really long time, because every time that we run a focus group and we ask our families if we have been helpful, they always say a huge yes. Thank you, donors. Thank you, supporters of Lake Washington School Foundation, because without that support, this couldn't be possible.
Thank you, Liliana. The foundation is proud to partner with the Lake Washington School District, Bellevue School District, Bellevue Schools Foundation, Eastside Pathways, the City of Redmond, the City of Kirkland, and the Equity and Communication Collaborative Action Network to better support our community through these thoughtful and culturally relevant communications. If you'd like to see the work like this continue, please click the donate button now to make your contribution. Next up is Lake Washington Schools Foundation's Board of Trustees President Nancy Colburn, who will tell you about a new initiative that is near and dear to her heart.
I'm Nancy Colburn. I'm the president of the Lake Washington Schools Foundation Board of Trustees. My first experience with the foundation was 13 years ago when I was invited to the spring luncheon as a guest of the Smith Elementary PTSA. 4 years ago, I became a trustee, and I'm proud to say that we've grown significantly in the past 4 years, tackling projects like food insecurity and social emotional learning, connecting families to college resources, and providing mental health support and education through our Balance in Mind program. But as a lifelong book lover, I'm especially excited to tell you about the Inclusive Libraries Project. The foundation is committed to a 5-year grant to help expand and broaden the library's collections to reflect the diversity of our district. It's vital that we read about traditions, cultures, and experiences of people and places across the world to help the students that are currently in our district feel included and connected. April is National School Library Month, and I can't think of a better way to honor the work that our school librarians do with our students on a daily basis. If you'd like to be part of the work that we do with the foundation, you can join us with your donation, but also consider joining us with your time and talent. The best part about being a trustee is the ability to influence the important work that we do across the entire district. Thanks for your donation today, and thanks for being here.
My name is Kathy Webb, and this is my 7th year as the librarian at Mark Twain Elementary, and it is the best job in the school.
The Lake Washington Schools Foundation recently awarded the District Library Program a 5-year grant that provides training for district librarians to perform diversity audits of their library collections. The foundation is also providing substantial funding to expand the collections in each school to help create a welcoming district culture where all students and families are represented.
I am excited that the Lake Washington Schools Foundation has decided to support the district libraries like they have, because collections are very dynamic, and I don't know that people who don't work in libraries always think about that. So they are always growing and changing, and so it is a continual process. You're never done putting your collection together. And one of the phrases that comes up often with diversity, equity, inclusion is the idea of mirrors and windows. The idea with mirrors is that you see yourself reflected. And the idea with windows is that you can see then into other worlds and other people's experiences. It's not enough to have Native American books or Latino books or Asian books. Am I representing these different areas of these different communities, of these different cultures? There's also, when we incorporate intersectionality, so disability, different types of housing, family structures, military, rural, or urban, different religions. So we have different ethnicities, different cultures, but then how are we also representing these other aspects of diversity? Then I consider reading levels and interest levels. So when I have these books, do I have them at a beginning reading level, into picture book, early chapter book, nonfiction? So am I representing these groups throughout the library as well, and at different age levels and interest levels? One thing I ask the kids to focus on is, what do you see that is similar to you or your religion, or your culture, or your housing situation, or your family structure? What do you see that is similar, and what do you notice that is different? For kids to see the connection first, and what did we have in common first, and then notice the things that might be different as well. Stories are such an important way for people to feel seen, and for people to feel like they belong as part of the community. And I never ever want any of my students to ever feel like they don't see themselves in this library. So that's very important to me. The grant from the Lake Washington Schools Foundation is important to help each school keep their collection diverse and current, but also contribute to equity between the schools. This year I had a parent contact me. They have a mixed ethnicity family, and she was asking if I had books that represented her culture, and we exchanged a little bit about that. And there was a book I did have, a picture book that she had not heard of, so I sent it home with her child, and she read it, and she emailed me later and said that it was so reminiscent for her of her childhood and of people in her family that were no longer with her, and that it actually, brought tears to her eyes and was quite important and emotional for her to have read that book. And then as a librarian, what else can you ask for? It's like I can retire now.
What a phenomenal endeavor. Thank you to the librarians doing this work in our schools and to the City of Sammamish and donors just like you for helping fund this program. Do you want to be part of all this? Click donate below this screen and make your contribution now. With your help and the Lake Washington Schools Foundation's 5-year funding commitment, every school in our district will have the opportunity to create a more inclusive library. Now, we've been talking a lot about what's new and what's next, but what about what's been happening all along? Here's a peek behind the scenes at the people and programs of the Lake Washington Schools Foundation.
The Lake Washington Schools Foundation gathers and deploys community resources to enhance academic access and nurture all students' emotional well-being. When you support the foundation, you reduce barriers to education, helping more students discover and achieve their personal best. With your support, we battle childhood hunger. Our Pantry Packs program provides meals to students who lack reliable access to food. Our volunteers will purchase, pack, and distribute more than 30,000 meals to students this year. With your help, we'll support food insecure families, fight childhood hunger, and ensure that no child goes hungry. Since we began in 2005, we have supported advancements in academic excellence. Increasingly, we are including a focus on social-emotional well-being. Through kids coming together, we help children build friendships through community service. Local high schoolers lead by example and help younger kids actively participate in fun service and team-building events. Things like visiting a senior living facility, repairing a trail, or caring for animals at local rescue facilities. With your help, we can connect kids to their community, help kids build meaningful friendships, and build strong future leaders. Through the Links Lunch Buddy Mentoring Program, your support helps students feel engaged, valued, and connected to their school communities. Right now, through Links Mentoring, more than 120 kids in our district meet every week with a trained adult mentor for social emotional support. They play games, do crafts, or just talk. Last year, 100% of Links students surveyed agreed, "I liked talking with my mentor," and "I looked forward to seeing my mentor." With your support, Links mentors help give kids an adult they can trust. Help kids feel safe and valued. And just listen to kids. In collaboration with the school district, we've sought ways to help students manage and overcome mental health challenges like depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. Through Youth Mental Health First Aid, our certified trainers teach people how to help students experiencing a mental health or substance abuse crisis. With your support, we are empowering teachers to intervene in a student's mental health crisis and getting kids the help they need. Our Balance in Mind program brings creative mental health initiatives into our community through chats on social media, expert-led webinars, and more. Balance in Mind helps reduce youth anxiety, depression, and suicide, grows empathy and hope, breaks the stigma surrounding mental health, and builds safe spaces and strong communities. Through Find Your Fit, we host free workshops and events that help families navigate the college admissions process. With your support, Find Your Fit experts help families learn about alternative paths after high school, avoid excess college debt, and understand the college process. Your support of the Lake Washington Schools Foundation helps us deliver what students need when they need it, no matter what new challenges arise. Together, we can ensure equity in education. Together, we can give students what they need to succeed. Together, we can be the bridge.
I just love that video. It is always so inspiring to see our program volunteers in action. We have big goals, and with your help, we can accomplish them. As individuals who want to make a difference in their community, it isn't always clear how to reach those who are in need. That's where Lake Washington Schools Foundation comes in. The foundation is uniquely positioned to identify the greatest needs in the community and to deploy community resources to help. Thank you for trusting us with your donations today. Donors who give at $200 or more will have their donation doubled by our generous matching pool donors. And I am so excited to announce that donors who give $350 or more this school year will have the opportunity to attend our Donor Appreciation Happy Hour on June 2nd. This year, the Lake Washington Schools Foundation was honored by a major contribution from the Aaron Thorson Brown Trust. Aaron Thorson Brown was a student at Thoreau Elementary School until his untimely death from cancer in October 1998. Through the generosity of a local family who also had children in the Lake Washington School District, a trust was established in his name to provide scholarships to students in need. Through the past 20+ years, this trust has helped students attend field trips, outdoor education programs, music and art classes, summer school, as well as receive support for medical needs, food insecurity, and more. Aaron's grandfather and mother were both educators in the Lake Washington School District, and the entire family is thankful that many children benefited from his trust. Aaron's mother, Susan Worthen, shared, "It is with a happy heart that Aaron's family makes this donation to the Lake Washington Schools Foundation. It is an organization dedicated to ensuring that all students have opportunities to thrive." The foundation thanks the Aaron Thorson Brown Trust for its generous contribution and dedicates this year's Be the Bridge to Aaron's memory. As many of you know, it takes a lot to put an event together. Thank you to our amazing trustees, program leaders, staff, ambassadors, table captains, and everyone who participated in today's event. And thank you to Amy Marino for providing voiceovers for today's event videos. To Eli Corriveau from Hot Spark Media for producing today's program. And thank you, Morgan, and your team at Cairo for lending your time and talent to today's event.
Thank you, Katie. It has been a pleasure to be your host this afternoon, and I hope you've enjoyed the program. If you haven't yet clicked the donate button below, please take a moment to do that right now. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for your support of students through the Lake Washington Schools Foundation. Together, we can be the bridge. Stick around to enjoy a little jazz from the Royals. The Royals have been playing together since middle school and are currently 11th graders at Eastlake and Tesla STEM High Schools in the Lake Washington School District. Take it away, boys. East.